So, Paul, Hipkiss from Tilton Talk. Once we get today's game against Stoke out the way, there's a lot to discuss on your show this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, it's a question of here we go again. Obviously, sixth manager gone now in the last 4 years. When is this instability going to end? Moving forwards. Obviously, I hope Steve Spooner and Craig Gardner, who have know the club inside out, can help us in the short term. Obviously, if they are going to be in charge for the last 4 games, and obviously wish them all the best today as well against Stoke. And I think just that one win is what we need, just to see ourselves safe, and then we can look forward properly. But I don't know, really. It's frustrating at the moment being a Blues fan, Ben, to be honest, because you just want stability. You just want to see a vision and where we're going, and you just can't see that at the moment, And even when you do think you can see it and we're getting somewhere, for one reason or another, the manager that's give us that leaves, So I don't know. It's just, moving forwards now, I'm just hoping that this next decision, this next guy who comes in, can obviously see us forward, and more importantly, be with us for a little while, because
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think we were speaking back on this show 3-4 weeks ago, looking up towards the end of the season? If they can put a bit of a run together towards the end of the season, not necessarily get in the playoffs, but have a strong finish to the season. I'm a big believer, Paul. I don't know about you. I'm a big believer in, if you finish one season strongly, you start the next one strongly.
Absolutely right. Yeah. Because it gives you momentum, doesn't it?
Exactly. And it doesn't look like that's going to happen now. It'd be ironic, wouldn't it, if after all the wrangling with the EFL, if an EFL decision to dock Wigan points ends up actually saving Birmingham City. Yeah,
I mean, I certainly hope that doesn't happen, obviously, to Wigan, because I do think the EFL have got a lot to answer for. These dodgy owners, shall I say, taking over football clubs. They need to sharpen up on that, because it's, obviously it's, we've seen obviously at our club, obviously what it can cause in the past, and obviously, Wigan now, it's just nothing short of a disgrace, really, to be honest.
The fit and proper test needs a fit and proper test.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So, it's not fit for purpose.
No. It looks to me like they're just ticking a few boxes, as though you're about to do an induction or a trial on a job or something like that. Just to be shown around a warehouse or something, if you know what I mean.
A manager can make a decision publicly that he's going to step down come the end of the season, that he's going to move on, he's going to go on to different things, he's going to go home. Obviously, Spain is a big hotspot for coronavirus. I'm not saying these things are related in any way, but Pep Guardiola lost his mother during coronavirus. So it's understandable to an extent if somebody wants to go home during this difficult time. Surely, Paul, and we talk about managers and we talk about coaches all the time, but from my point of view, our manager's getting pilloried at the moment. But it's players who go out and do it or don't do it.
Yeah.
So surely there can't be any excuse for non-performances over the last 3-4 weeks since the lockdown ended, once it was announced that Pep Clotet was...
I wish it was Pep Guardiola, Ben. I think, obviously, once you know that your manager's leaving, though, that mindset changes, doesn't it? You kind of like go on in your mind, you're kind of on your holidays early, aren't you, I suppose, because, you don't know what the future's going to bring. But at the same time, though, as a player, I suppose you don't even know who's in the stands watching or who's watching on TV. Well, obviously, on TV nowadays as well. You don't know who's watching you, and you don't know, obviously, what sort of conversations our owners are having. So, you've always got to give 100% and put in the best possible performances that you can. And I don't know what's happened to them, to be honest, since they've come back from the lockdown. It's just been nothing short of a disaster, really, if I'm honest. I mean, West Brom away was a good, solid performance, sorry.
I thought so.
It was a good comeback against Hull, but the goals were conceding. I mean, it's not like we are getting, we wasn't particularly getting battered by Huddersfield. It was just the goals that we're conceding is just basic defending, which we're not doing. We're just letting too many soft goals in.
And the head's dropping after a goal let in.
Yeah. And it's been a while since I've seen this. I must say, certainly since, we had Gary Monk in, obviously, in the last sort of 18 months, couple of years. It's been a while since it's been like this. So, I just hope that they can sort it out. And the next man who comes in can kind of like, get us back on track again. So yeah, I mean, where do we go from here? We've had more managers in the last 4 years than we did in the first 25 years. I was going to St Andrews, you know, so what can you say?
And in the immediate short term, this lunchtime, they've got to get a result at Stoke City, and it's the double-edged sword as well, isn't it? You know, beware the wounded animal. That they got a pasting at Leeds the other night, didn't they? So
yeah. So yeah, I mean, obviously they're not particularly in a good place themselves, Stoke at the moment. So it'll be an interesting game. But yeah, if we can bring our A game and play like I know we can, you know, then we can win. But it just depends what Blues turns up, doesn't it? And hopefully Spooner and Gardner, Craig, can get a response. You know, that's what we're after. We're after a reaction from a little bad period.
Yeah, just get to the end of the season, and you know, I'm putting it out there right now because I know what's going to happen. You'll get your derby again next season. So
yeah,
it's Gonski. You know, I don't want to defeat. You got Crystal Palace at some point today. Just want to get your thoughts as well before we let you go. In the last 24 hours, the sad passing of Jack Charlton.
Yeah, very sad news. Obviously, an England legend. You know, and it just shows how time's going on, doesn't it? That we're starting to lose, you know, quite a few of that squad now, isn't there? That are unfortunately no longer with us. And you know, I've always said, you know, I wish I could have been on Earth when England won the World Cup. And I hope that before, you know, my time's up, that I do get to see it, either the Euros or the World Cup. And it's certainly exciting moving forwards with some of the young players we've got coming through. But we have seen all that in the past. But yeah, just coming back onto Jack Charlton, an absolute legend. And, you know, he's the kind of man that you'd want in the trenches with you to win a World Cup.
Yeah,
you know, so yeah, I mean, I was watching Euro '96 repeated over the lockdown. I don't know if you saw that, but
I did. Yeah,
he was in the studio, wasn't he? A lot of that time, with Bob Wilson, and you know, you could just tell from as soon as he spoke, you just listened, didn't you? He was that kind of man.
Yeah, terrific pundit, wasn't he?
Yeah, brilliant.
You kind of forget all that kind of stuff, and the Irish wanted him elected Pope. There's no that's what they wanted. So
yeah. Well, he brought them some. He brought the Republic of Ireland some wonderful times as well, didn't he? I remember the 1990 World Cup.
Yeah.
You know, I was only 11 at the time, but I do remember it. You know, and yeah, I remember them beating Romania on penalties, and you know, yeah. So yeah, tragic loss.
94, getting into the scrap with the official on the touchline in America against Mexico and all that. But, yeah. So I mean, it just puts it into perspective, as you said. He's the same age as my grandmother, and he won the World Cup, and that's how long ago it was. It's getting longer and longer and longer before since we've sampled anything like that amount of success. But anyway, Tilton Talk, anything good coming up there?
Yeah, we've got Liam Ridgewell with us on Monday night. Since you and I last spoke, we've had some good guests. We've had Mike Taylor and Darren Pearce. So yeah, we've had some really good guests on, and yeah, it's I've never been anywhere in my life where time goes so fast. You know, you talk to these guys, and it just an hour seems like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. So,
but yeah, we're having you know, some really good times talking to them, and what we're doing is we're getting them to pick their 1 to 11s from the players they played with.
Interesting.
So yeah, some I mean, the team Mike Taylor picked last week would easily compete like halfway upwards in the Premier League. So yeah, I mean, Forsell, and just to give you a flavour, Forsell and Heskey up front.
Yeah, there's goals there for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a proper natural goal scorer, Mikael Forsell, wasn't he? You know, right place, right time. He always put the ball in the net. So so we wish you well with that. We wish Blues well this afternoon as well against Stoke City, and I'm sure we'll speak again towards the end of the season. Paul Hipkiss, thank you very much indeed.
Cheers, Ben. Take care.